All right, welcome to the Explainer. So today we're going to dive into a pretty wild idea. What if you could take a simple, everyday calendar invite and turn it into a full-blown, shareable event page in like 60 seconds? Sounds kind of nuts, right? Let's break it down.
Okay, so if you've ever had to organize anything, a bunch of webinars, sales demos, maybe a whole sports season, you know the absolute headache of trying to share all those different dates. It's just this tangled mess of links and emails and updates. But what if there was a way to just skip all that? So first things first, let's really dig into the problem here. We're calling it the event organizer's headache. And I bet this sounds familiar. It's that chaos of trying to manage and promote a ton of different events all at the same time. Yeah, if you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, just think about all the little things that drive you crazy. You're just endlessly copy-pasting the same details over and over again. You're trying to manually track who's coming from like 5 different places. You've got a dozen different links floating around for different events. And oh my gosh, the worst part, a time or location changes, and now you're stuck blasting out these correction emails, just praying everyone actually sees it. And after all that work, you have basically zero real data on who's even paying attention. It's just a total mess. Okay, but what if the fix for all of that took just 60 seconds? What if you could turn that calendar you're already living in every single day into a legit marketing machine? That's the big idea here. Let's get into it. So this solution, it's a service called Calendar Snack. And here's the deal, in a nutshell. It automatically creates this awesome, shareable landing page with all your events on it. And it does it in about a minute, pulling everything straight from the calendar invites you're already making. Yeah, no website builders, no coding, nothing. Just your calendar. So you're probably wondering, okay, how does this actually work? Well, the setup is so simple. It's basically 3 steps. 1, you create your events in your Google or Outlook calendar, the same way you always do. 2, you just invite this one special email address when you create the event. And then 3, boom, in about 60 seconds, you get an email back with a link to your live landing page. Seriously, that's it. And this is what you get. In less time than it takes to make a cup of coffee, you get this. A really clean, professional-looking page with all your events lined up, totally ready to share with your audience. So what exactly does it pull in? Well, it's pretty much everything, and it's all automatic. The system just grabs all the important stuff, the date, the time, the location, whether it's a real place or a virtual link. It pulls the entire description you wrote in the invite, even the Google or Outlook Meet link. And then it just neatly organizes everything in chronological order. You literally don't have to type a single thing twice. Now, this all leads to a really powerful concept, and we're calling it Your Calendar is Command. And the idea is exactly what it sounds like. You manage the whole shebang without ever having to leave your calendar. The source material really nails it with this quote. The organizer's calendar becomes the command center to visualize all the events. Just think about that for a second. The one tool you probably have open all day long is now your command center for marketing all your events. That's a huge shift. Okay, let's look at what this really means in practice, the old way versus the new way. The old way, right? You edit one tiny detail in your event. Now you have to go manually update your website, post on social media, fix your email campaigns. It's a total nightmare. Now, the new way. You edit the event in your calendar. You hit save, and that's it. You're done. And here's how that magic actually works. So, say you change the time of an event in your calendar. The landing page updates itself instantly. But what's even cooler is that anyone who already RSVP'd automatically gets that official calendar update on their end. And what if you have to cancel? Same thing. You just delete the event from your calendar, it disappears from the page, and everyone who signed up gets notified that it's canceled. It is totally, completely seamless. All right, so we've covered how dead simple this is for the organizer. But what about the other side of the coin? What about the people you're actually trying to reach? Let's talk about their experience, because this is all about making it super easy for them to engage. So from a customer's perspective, this is just clean. It's simple. Doesn't matter if you have a handful of meetings or a whole season's worth of games, they just see this nice chronological list. There's no confusion, no clutter, just the info they need. And their journey to sign up, it's just as easy. Okay, so they land on your page, they just pop their email address in one time right at the top, and then they just go down the list and click Send Invite next to any event they want to go to. And bam, just like that, the official calendar invites show up right in their inbox. So why do customers love this? Well, for starters, there are no clunky sign-up forms to deal with.
They can pick and choose multiple events all in one go. And this is huge. Any updates or cancellations go straight to their own calendar, the place where they actually live their lives. And maybe best of all, they just have one single link they can always go back to for everything you've got going on.
Okay, now for the last piece of this puzzle, and trust me, it is a big one. Let's talk about the data you get from all this. This is what takes you from just managing events to actually understanding your audience, from looking at one person's RSVP all the way up to a 10,000-foot view of your whole program.
Let's just start with one number to see how powerful this is: 2,207. In this example, that's the total number of RSVPs. Tracked, automatically, no more guessing games, no more counting by hand. You just have this solid, clear number right there.
And this is where that number comes from. This is the organizer's snapshot. It gives you that complete bird's eye view at a glance. You see the total invites sent, the total RSVPs you've gotten back, and your overall engagement rate across every single event you're running.
And you can see that engagement visually too. Like here, the breakdown is super clear. About 25% of the folks who got an invite actually RSVP'd. I mean, that kind of insight tells you immediately how well your promotion is working. But the data doesn't stop there. It goes even deeper. So if you zoom out even more, a manager or a team lead can use what's called the Domain Owner Console. This gives you that super high-level view of every single organizer on your team and every event they've created. It's all right there on one screen. And from that big picture view, you can then drill down into how one specific organizer is doing. So for example, here we can see every event created by Zach, and we can look at his specific numbers, like how many invites he sent and what his RSVP rate is for each event. And you can go even one level deeper than that, right into the nitty-gritty report for a single event. Here, you can track absolutely everything: when the event was created, every single time it was updated, and all the specific RSVP details for just that one event. I mean, this is super granular, really powerful data.
So let's wrap this up with a question for you to think about. What if you could spend way less time on all that tedious, manual event management stuff and spend way more time actually understanding your audience and figuring out what makes them tick? That right there is the huge shift that this kind of automation makes possible. Thanks for tuning into this explainer.